Hey there, I'm Han.
And I'm Kat, and we're Brews and Reviews.
So, surprise! You get 2 videos from us today. Just with it being our March wrap-up, we thought, you need it. Why not?
We can't lose our track record of doing wrap-ups.
Exactly.
Right, so you're just going to have 2 videos, as if we weren't already crazy enough to do a video every single day this month. You're getting another one.
Yep.
Free of charge. It's like a bonus and stuff. So we're just going to get right into it, because that's what you're here for. So, first up this month, I read Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great book. I mean, most of you, I'm assuming, know what Silence of the Lambs is about. It is, Hannibal Lecter is book 2, and I think chronologically that he wrote them in. Oh, words, you failed me today. But yeah, basically it follows Clarice Starling as she tries to catch a killer. And it's, you know what? I've seen the film before.
Yeah.
Like you made me watch the film last year. I don't know why I'd never watched it before, because I really like that sort of thing, and it was a really good film. And the book is really good too. I was like listening to the book, because I listened to it on audiobook, and then I could picture the film, and I was like, they did that really well. I was really impressed with it, so definitely if you're a fan of the film, it's worth reading.
But would you say that if you recommend them reading this, would you recommend them reading the first one? Do they link?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not so much.
Would you recommend, if I was to read it, would you recommend me to read the first one and then this one, or?
You could do it either way around, to be honest. There's like a slight link, but you could pick it up wherever, I think.
Because I love the film, and I can remember when you finished reading it, you were like, do you know what? It is the film.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to read it.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it's very good.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
So, a book that we both read this month, and we read it together as a buddy read, was Champion by Marie Lu. And we've talked about this quite a lot in a few recent videos.
We have, and I'm sure you'll see it coming up some more throughout the month.
But it was truly brilliant. The whole series was rather epic, and all 3 of us, we read it with Mystery Date with a book, and all of us loved it. And I mean, we were really supposed to be reading the first one, but we had to continue the whole series, not just the second one as well, like all of them, back to back, like literally there was no break.
I don't tend to read books like that as well, but like I'm trying to get better at it, and I am so glad that we did with this series, because it just was so worth it. I just really liked it. I think there is something about the characters that you just want to follow them, and you're so engaged with them, and you're like, oh, I need to know what's going to happen to them, because they're so good.
What I liked about it is that it didn't, like throughout all of them, it didn't recap what happened in the last one, but also when stuff happened, it didn't like go through it all.
Yeah.
It kind of sometimes jumped, but you know why that jump was there. Because at first I got a bit confused, and I was like, oh, but it's missed a huge chunk. It's talking about something that hasn't happened. But then it's like, oh no, because they were talking about it. So obviously this is a bit more in the future. Well, not in the future, but like a bit ahead of time.
Yeah. And
that's happened. And instead of actually going through it, they've added it briefly into the story, so you know exactly what's going on. But it's like you haven't missed a thing. And I think that was a really good way of telling a story. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it got so much more important stuff in there.
Yeah.
Which is missing from a lot of books, because they feel the need to repeat everything that's happened in the last couple of pages. So that, for me, once I was like, oh yeah, okay, so this is how she's this is her writing style. Like, I really got into that kind of, that format. So at the start of this month, me and Kat decided to take part in a 24-hour readathon read by Zoe. And the book I chose to read after much deliberation, because the first book I chose, I decided against it, and then I couldn't choose, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll just do that one. It was Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. This is the sequel to This Summer Song, which I absolutely loved last year. I really, really enjoyed it. So this takes place, I think it's like a couple of months after what happened in the first one. Now, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. I liked it. But in the first book, I absolutely adored August. In this book, I didn't quite have that feeling for him. There was something missing from him, and I was pretty gutted, to be fair, because he was the one thing. Don't get me wrong, I like Kate as well, but even her, I don't think she was the same, and I know things happened that made them kind of change, but I don't know.
Not in a good way.
No, it just made it miss something, and it didn't make me love it. So I read it for the sake of reading it by the end of it, but I mean, I don't think this was on par with the first one. I really don't, but you know, the first one was epic, and this one fell a bit flat for me. I'd still say read it. I'd still say read it after the second, but it doesn't, live up to the standards of the first.
Sad.
I know it is. I am really sad about it. Like I said, I'm not gutted because it wasn't terrible. It generally wasn't terrible, but it wasn't epic.
I'm not gonna lie, this is like such a good brew.
Is it?
Sorry, I just had to say that because it's really good.
Good.
I really needed this brew.
Right, speaking of because you've got your shark mug.
Yes.
I was looking at films that are getting released this year, and there's a film. It's got Jason Statham in, so I don't know how cheesy or do you know what I mean? If it's going to be one of them.
Actually.
Oh no, yeah. But it's about a big shark, and I think the film's called Meg, and it's about a big shark.
Oh, okay.
It actually sounds kind of cool.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, maybe my shark mug.
Yeah.
Go and see that.
Yeah. I feel like that would be. We like shark movies.
Yeah. Watched Sharknado the other day. That's a movie. So as Hannah said, we took part in Read by Zoe's 24-hour readathon, and a book I read in that time was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. And then I started Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. And then after the readathon was over, when I finished Sea of Monsters, I read Titan's Curse. Because, like I said before, I'm not very good at reading books in order and just carrying on with the series. And I was like, no, I want to, because I want to reread all of the Percy Jackson books, because I've read them all before. And I remember really loving them, and I really love them again. They hold such a nostalgic place for me, and I love Greek mythology, and I just really liked it. Plus, you reading them, it kind of just makes me excited about them because you get really excited about reading them.
I love them. I can't wait until some of the newer characters come into it. Well, even older characters that I just have a love for.
I'll get there. I will get there. I didn't quite manage to carry on with the series, but I think 3 out of 5 books, that's good for me. It takes me a long time to read a series in a row because I'm such a mood reader, so it doesn't really necessarily work for me in order. But I managed to get 3 done. I'm proud of that. So, woo.
So I finished an audiobook in March, and I was like, oh, what am I going to read? I really want to listen to something or read something. So I was going down Cat's Audio because I'm on hers. It's like your Netflix account, I scrounged off that too,
It's alright, I scrounged off your Amazon one, so.
Yeah.
That's the perks of we're just have you got this? I'll use this.
So anyway, yeah, I'm on Cat's Audio, and I saw Graceling by Kristen Cashore. Now, Kat read this last year, and she really enjoyed it, and from what she described about it, I really liked the sound of it, I really, really did. So I saw it and I was like, well, there's nothing else really there that piques me interest, so I was like, why not? And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was slow at times, through the journey.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very samey, and then it was samey, and it's I get the point, you've got to look after this little girl and blah blah blah, but come on now. Surely there's other things going on. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it, and I'd still definitely recommend it. And I'm sorry I'm just flinging the book around. You're probably like, what's that bullshit holding? I can't see it, and I missed the title of it, but I don't understand what it is. It's Graceling. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I really did, and I am carrying on with the series. So
I think it's funny that you did it, like, because the thing that has annoyed you about it being slow and quite samey was something that I really liked about it.
was it?
Because I liked that it showed how hard it was. Like, it wasn't, like, telling you that this is difficult. It's showing you exactly, like, oh no, this journey is going on, and it is horrible at every single point in it. And so I quite like that, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong, I did like it from that point of view, but then I was just a bit like...
Yeah. I think also I listened to it a lot faster than you, so nothing feels quite as long.
Yeah. I feel like if I was reading it, it probably wouldn't...
Yeah, you probably wouldn't notice.
I normally bulk listen on, like, my dog walks and stuff, so I feel like in them little bits of time where I'm listening to it, I hear the same thing, and it's like...
This entire time they've been on the same journey.
Yeah, it's like you're in the same spot, and I've been listening to you for like an hour and a half. So yeah, but I still really did enjoy it. I'm not dissing it in any way. I really enjoyed it, so...
So, since Hannah started reading Graceling, it kind of made me want to read Fire. So I did. Do you know what? A lot of people I have heard didn't like this book as much as the first one. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but there are some things that I really did like about this book. This book follows Fire, who is a monster. Her dad was a monster, and children of monsters, even if they're monster-human matings, they're always monsters. And basically, she is irresistible to everyone. Everyone's like, oh my god, I love you, or maybe some not so nice reactions to her. And she sort of... Hannah's reading it right now. I don't want to spoil anything.
But with you saying that you preferred Graceling, up to now, I prefer Fire.
Interesting.
I really prefer Fire.
Interesting.
There's just something about it, I don't know, but that I really am enjoying this one a lot more. So.
I don't know. There is something about Fire that I was like, okay. I found bits of Fire quite repetitive, and I was a bit like, alright.
See, it's really right, because I did really enjoy Graceling, so I was a bit like, because I asked you about it, I was like, did you all link? And you were like, well no, Fire's a bit different.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really enjoyed the Graceling, I just want to continue that, but I'm going to have to read Fire to get to Bitter Blue.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't skip it, obviously it's got to be read.
Yeah.
So I was really nervous about reading it in case it didn't match up, but the fact that I feel like I like it more, it's like, ooh.
Well, that is good news.
Yeah.
Also, can I add that I love Briggan? Like, I really like Briggan, and I think he is a great dad, and I think we need more representations of great dads in, like, great father-daughter relationships in books, please. Because, like, I was reading it and I was like, oh, it's just so cute, I just love it so much.
But do you know what, we had a conversation about this series, like, obviously I haven't finished this one yet, but we were talking about as well, like, contraception and, you know, like, being so aware of getting pregnant and the things that they put in place to stop that.
Yeah.
And I like hearing about that in books. Like, I think it's so sensible, and it's, you know, it's not just, I'll just have sex, and if I end up with a baby, then I end up with a baby.
Although there are still people that end up with babies in some things, that, and then you think, well, that's your lack of knowledge there, isn't it? But I like how it is a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, that this series, because it happened in Graceling as well, that, like, takes very seriously putting contraception into your mind, and I think that is yes.
I think it's
let's have more, please. Like, I think as well, because it's a fantasy world, it's not like, oh, like in a contemporary where someone's going, oh, if you've got condoms, I've got condoms, or you're on the pill, I'm on the pill. Like, it's very important that that sort of thing is discussed, and it makes me like this series a hell of a lot more, because it's like,
I have a lot more respect for it.
Yeah.
Really. So, as you're all aware, I have been continuing on with the Shadowhunter read-along that Emma Books has hosted. So, I have finished A Tea of Glass this month, and I have started Clockwork Angel. What can I say? I loved it. And I actually listened to this one.
Yeah.
I listened to it. Right, and I didn't like how she voiced the guys. I didn't. It was rather off-putting, and it was a bit like I feel like I could have put on a better guy's voice.
Your guy voice is all the same voice. When you pretend that you've got a guy voice, it's all the same voice.
Yeah, but even if they are all the same, it'll still be better than hers.
Yeah.
There was something about, though, her guy voice that I really didn't like. It was very samey, and I don't know, I just couldn't connect to it, and I was like, I don't know, there was just something about, like, Jace that I didn't like.
It just didn't sound like Jace.
No, it didn't. It didn't sound cool enough or, like, attitudey enough or anything, because all of the men sounded the same. But don't get me wrong, like, even with saying that, I still actually really liked her version of narrating it, and, you know, I'd still recommend, you know, either reading it or listening to it. It didn't put me off, and it was nice to actually, well, listen to it, well, read it, I suppose, listen, in, like, a different format, because I've always read it before, so listening to it, it's quite nice to do that. But yeah, I still, you know, really enjoyed it.
So, last but not least, I decided that I was going to reread Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Because the film, it's coming out. It's out now, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's out. And I wanted to refresh my mind on what actually happened. Because I remember I really loved it. It was one of my top books of last year. And I just, like, kind of needed to, you know, reread it. And, so it's funny, I was talking about this, and the person that bought me this mug has just gone to see it, and he says it's great, and I'm like, I need to go and watch it now. I'm very excited for this, really. I absolutely love the 80s. I love the sci-fi aspects. The Oasis is such a cool virtual world.
Yeah.
I got so immersed in this, I read it in, like, a day. So I was like, yeah. I just love it. And if you've not read Ready Player One, and you like that kind of sci-fi virtual world, 80s nostalgia, fun book, then read Ready Player One, because it's just great. So that's it for our March wrap-up. We didn't actually read that much.
No.
What are you going to do? We had a very busy month.
I was thinking, with this whole Spring to It video-a-thon taking place in April, we have been so busy, you know, prepping and planning and filming and editing and everything else in between, like actually,
yeah, real life
lifing,
work and, you know.
Exactly,
So.
you know, it's been hectic, so I've started to meet my target of four books a month.
Yeah.
You know, that's good. I didn't even think I'd done that, did it? When we
we were counting them. I was like, and there's me like, and this one.
I was like, oh
and
yeah.
this one.
Oh yeah.
So 4.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like this month has been so long.
Yeah, but also it's gone
It's like,
really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I didn't listen to as many audiobooks. I've just been really busy at work, which is where I usually listen to them, and with like so much like mental stuff, so I've not been listening to anything. I've just sort of had music on so that I can just focus on the work, which is unusual. And sadness. Much sadness. Actual work. No, I was doing actual work before. It's just multitasking is fun. Hopefully, we can read more next month.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to read more next month, and but I mean, who knows if that's going to happen, because there's still lots more filming and editing and all these sort of things to go. So there's also a lot of things in the cinema this month.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of cinema going. Yeah. We actually might bring you guys a cinema update of what we've seen this year, because we actually haven't done that in a while. So.
And the films that we've seen, bar a couple, have been really good. Like, you know.
Yeah, really good.
So I feel like, for once, we'd actually like to talk about the things we've seen at the cinema, because last year was a crock of fucking shit.
It was very bad.
Do you know what?
Cinema,
I can't remember actually going to the cinema last year. Like, whatever we watched, it must have been so shit, or it didn't even warrant watching. So
we're pretty bad at cinemaing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about that in another video.
Yes.
And yeah, we hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.